here today, and we're at the Stanton Fire Department. We appreciate so much them allowing us to do that. On October the 12th here of 2023 at 6:30. And again, just want to welcome each and every one of you. Janelle, we are going to get you a name tag, so we'll get that done for you. Yeah. Well, it may be somebody in the audience. Second item is the approval of the September 14 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion on that? I got a motion and a second. Got it? All in favor? Okay, motion carried. This third is we had a special meeting and on September 22nd, so we want to approve that. Have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
No, we get those. All in favor? Okay, motion carried. At this point, we'll turn to ask if there are any public comments. Okay, all right.
Easy crowd tonight. Going once.
Yeah, there you go. My report's going to be just pretty. I like the positive things, and if you've noticed, we had on the city of Stanton this new company coming in called Framebridge, and they are today they had their hiring interviews right across over here. Basically, they're a custom framing company. They have one that's in Richmond, but their main headquarters is in New Jersey. And so they're going to do this seasonally for the next 5 months and see how things go. And it's hopeful that they'll get enough employees and enough business that they'll stay here in Eastern Kentucky. So that's where they want to go from here on up. So
Where's this going to be?
it's on Elkin Street, the old, what's the name?
Old CMS.
Yeah, the old CMS.
They're renting off of Red River Ranch.
Yes.
So all of C, I mean like.
Well,
The
no.
big building, yeah, it'd be all of the interior.
Oh, are they getting the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
I saw them there today. I mean, just moving that, taking things out and moving things
I
in.
know a
So
lot of people will ask you, was it something from home, or was it in Richmond?
It's in, Scott Ferguson Red River Ranch told me they hope to have 80 employees, 2 shifts of 4 week. But then their flyer says weekday and weekend shifts. So I don't know. They may have more than
My niece
that.
works at the one in Richmond, her
Oh,
and they said that what they do is people can mail in like something that's special to you, like when you got married, we're just gonna say an example, your flower girl's dress, and you want to get this framed, and you'll mail it in to them, and they'll frame that dress, and just anything like that. I mean, she's
Yeah.
the most outlandish things she's told me that they have done, and they actually put it in the frame themselves, and do what they want to do with it, customize it, and
Can you send things digitally? Okay.
you can send, yeah.
Awesome.
they have a website. If you look at their website, it kind of explains just what you're saying there.
Yeah,
And
it's,
really
really
some nice
awesome.
stuff. I mean,
It's
things
really
that
awesome.
are personal, but also maybe a little bit different. But they can
Like
make
I've
it.
got all Brandy's honor stuff, her honor
Yep.
cord, I did that myself.
And there's no borderlines of what they want.
Okay.
And
That's too much information.
I'm serious.
I know, right?
They told me $18 to $20 an hour.
Okay, hang on, Jeff, guys, a second. What's that?
I was gonna say, they told me $18 to $20 an hour, which I don't know if that's firm, but that's what they
Projected.
So I mean, it's pretty good pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, they do pay good.
Yeah.
And your niece works?
Yes.
Oh, great. Super. Thanks for that, sharing that. Okay, number 6 is the second reading, the 2023 property tax rate. Remember, we didn't change that at all, so we have a motion to accept that.
I'll make a
All
motion.
right, and a second.
One second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion carried. And then the second reading of the amended budget ordinance. Remember, we're confirming the $1,312,500 for the second time. So I have a motion on that. All right, and a second. All right, all in favor? Okay. Then, number 8 is a some zone change approval in Homestead. So, Chris, you wanna address that real quick for us?
So when the Homestead Sons neighborhood was annexed into the city, the way the ordinance reads, when a new area is annexed into the city, it is automatically assigned an A1 in agricultural zoning. And for whatever reason, when that happened with that neighborhood, it was never changed to a more appropriate zone district. So it's still A1. Kyle Berryman was running an Airbnb, and doing my Airbnb research, I came across it, and so I sent a letter and said you can't do that in an A1 zone district. It has to be R1 or R2. So they have come in to rezone his property only to R1 to allow them to be able to do the Airbnb. The truth is, the R1 is more appropriate for the property anyway, and I feel like at some point the city should probably, because the city can initiate a rezoning as well, we should probably look at that neighborhood and just rezone all of it. I would need to do some research, make sure all the properties meet the minimum.
So everything in there is A1,
Everything in the neighborhood right now is A1,
and
they're rezoning their property.
so just this
R1.
piece of property.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they can go ahead and
I
keep
wouldn't
doing.
spend too much time because I know they've been to the county wanting to come out of the city.
Well, I've heard that they're not.
For a while.
Yeah.
Here's
No,
what-
like last month, they were at the county meeting their month.
Well, I
Or
heard.
if the county, I don't know
Does it
if the
fix-
county can do anything to the road.
Like,
Right.
do they need to be in the city to be able to fix that road? Cause they
We can't
need the
fix that
road, we can't ever fix it?
No, because it was never built correct.
It doesn't meet
It
specs.
should have met certain standards
Yeah.
before we take it over.
It's like 18
foot.
foot or something like
Yeah.
that.
Now, it,
16 years up, they knew that, they've known that.
The builder knew.
This ain't the first rodeo we've
No,
ever had.
you're talking,
Right,
you're
yeah.
talking basic.
This was years ago.
It's gotta have sidewalks, it's gotta have stormwater
Mm-hmm.
before we can accept the road.
It's not wide enough.
It's not wide enough.
now, I will say, there is enough right of way to do all that.
There is, but it's not the cities.
Right.
Yeah.
That's-
So they would
that
have to give
was
up that
promised before.
portion of the land.
Well, the city can't go in and do that.
It would cost a lot. I mean, it's a matter of cost.
Yeah.
No.
If there was money, you could, it's not that it physically can't happen, it's just it would cost a lot to go in and make the road, build the road to a city standard, curb and gutter sidewalk.
Would we have to get their approval to do that?
Not if it was in the city limits.
It's in the
It's-
city.
Or, well, I mean,
Yeah, but that road is not a city
it's
road.
not a city road.
They're wanting it done.
They're
But
currently-
it's a matter of.
Well, they just want it blacktop. They don't
Yeah.
want all that other stuff necessarily.
According to
We can't.
the KYTC website, it's classified, all those streets are classified as private roads.
Right.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I know, like in states like West Virginia, Virginia, they have orphan road grants,
Mm.
like roads that have been orphaned.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's anything that we can get here, like a grant or something to write to fix that. And I don't know who to ask to look that up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And we've had Craig out there over the years.
Craig Dawson.
Yeah, so
He can help her.
if we can
Right,
find
right. You do the research.
some sort of grant for orphan roads,
Yeah.
which, you know, I know this
So
has nothing to do with that.
Right.
Orphan means like privately built that has turned into
Oh,
neighborhoods
okay,
that,
okay.
yeah, that
It
nobody
wasn't built
claims.
to a standard that wasn't dedicated to the city or the
Okay,
county.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Basically, somebody wanted a neighborhood and they threw it up,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so,
Kind of like what happened with that neighborhood.
mhm, right, so.
Originally, it was blacktop by the county.
Oh, good.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
well,
Anyway.
that's a whole other can.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
but assuming it stays in the city, and not only if there's a few other properties around that have been annexed in that haven't been assigned a different zoning, I think at some point the city ought to look at those and say, we're gonna give them the appropriate zone district.
Can you see where they're at? I don't want you to waste a lot of time and then
Right.
want to pull out.
Right,
and go
right.
to the-
Right.
From what I'm hearing, it's almost like they all wanted to do.
Well, see,
Now, would they have to vote as a subdivision to
I
do that?
think so.
They
There
don't
was
have a-
Bunch of them, what did?
There's no
Mike might
HOA.
know. How many showed up at the county meeting?
I don't
What
know.
did he say?
He did say. But
How many
I
showed
think
up
a
at the
lot of
last
the
city
thing with the
meeting?
county even was the width
Yeah.
of it. To be a county road, it has to be a certain width, and I'm not sure
I
exactly.
don't know that they're solving the problem by leaving the city going to the county necessarily.
Well, the county is saying they will
They will,
blacktop it,
yeah.
you know.
But, really? I
They
mean,
want
if they
black
say,
coffee,
yeah.
that's fine.
It's up to them.
You know, if it's a county road, it would have to be a
But
county
that was like
road.
the last
They
option.
would have to accept it as a county road.
That would be another.
They'd have their attorney obviously do some look into that, have to. Okay, if I have a motion then, zone change 273 Alley Lane from A1 to R1.
I'll make it.
Okay, second on that. All right, all in favor?
And I will abstain, because that's my nephew, great nephew.
Okay, all right, so one abstain. Motion carried then. Number 9 is the ballpark lease. That's where the high school uses the city park ball field for their season. It's, the terms are $5,000 for the, 5 months? 5 months, and then electricity, so it's the same terms, yeah.
And the school accepted that.
Well, I talked to Sarah and she was okay with that, but she still has to present it to the school board.
I mean, I knew there was a problem about the electric there for a while, or a
It's,
question
yeah,
about it.
yeah, but that, they're okay with it now.
Okay.
All right. Do I have a motion to accept that? Okay,
Okay.
and a second? All right, got a second? All right, all in favor? All right, motion carried. Next is the SRO contract, 20 some pages. Scott, you want to address that for us?
Everything look okay to everybody? It's basically what we've had in place for some time. The only real changes that we made was the amount of coverage, due to the amount of funding that they can provide us, a little bit less than, given what the officers are accumulating in hours than what it's been previously. Originally we had 2 full-time, now we have, essentially 1 full-time and 1 mostly full-time. I think 170 days and 6 hours per day.
Correct.
The only other thing is there's a little accounting procedure or form that we put in there regarding use of gasoline from the school in connection with the SRO contract. Other than those 2 changes, it's pretty much all the same.
What about when because we're posted for a full-time? Do we even want to ask if it's, I know they're not gonna change it.
It would obviously be in our discretion to provide more coverage, but not less coverage. So if we did that, I don't think that this contract would need to be amended. Perhaps for next year it would be. I think the language actually says a minimum of 170 days and 6 hours, so we could obviously do more than that. But, you know, while we are advertising, we're not sure that we're gonna have an individual that comes forward that, so for the purposes of this contract, you know, we need to get something in place. So it'd be my thought, go ahead and approve this, and if we do get a full-time SRO officer, nobody's gonna have an objection to that. The city won't, and the school system will not either.
So has the school board agreed to this, what
No.
we've got here?
They have not yet, they'll have to review it.
I've taken it to Sarah and she hasn't said anything to me, so.
So can we can't approve it until they,
No, I think you can approve it.
Yeah.
You can approve it and authorize, the mayor to execute it. If there are some problems or we need to do something else, we can come back. But if we don't go ahead and approve it tonight, the school board's gonna be at the same situation because they'll say the city's not approved it. So what I would like for you guys to do is go ahead and approve it and authorize the mayor to enter into this contract. If there are some sort of revisions or something like that where we would need to come back, we'll do that next month.
Any other questions from?
so now on the gas, exactly what changed on that? I mean,
Beforehand, I think they had just allocated so many gallons of gasoline.
3,100.
yeah,
For,
A
SRO,
year.
SRO type thing. What we're doing now is on a monthly basis, the police department will provide which officer used how many gallons, what day they used it, and the, purpose that they used it for. So it's a little bit more of an accounting procedure to show that the gasoline is directly related to SRO type duties.
Where's it at in here?
That was the request of the school system, but that's done as well.
It's, what page?
I know, there's a lot to go through, I've been through, but I couldn't find
It's a lot to write.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Like to read on your phone.
It's in there. and I haven't
That's
seen
the
it, but I don't know.
150 gallons of fuel,
Page-
standard pro, yeah.
Page 15.
15.
Up to, we still have 3,100 gallons, up to 3,100 gallons?
That's the 3150.
Yeah, we would probably never use.
No.
Nowhere near that.
Right, yeah.
And so far, they haven't been using any.
And the school system requested something like that be put in it, so we said that'll be fine.
I think we're lucky we got that much for why long we did.
Yeah. Well,
Are there any questions?
Figuring SRO's not gonna use too many during the days.
Unless they have to transport a kid to Brentford or someplace like that, I wouldn't think they would use more than a couple gallons.
And
So
that
they're
would be
making
no
place
need to
to-
change that then, right?
I don't think that, they ever, I've seen them escort them home, but I've never heard of them escort them out of county.
Well, if they were in big enough trouble,
He
they,
did.
yeah, they
Yeah,
take
Phil,
one to
Phil had to
Ashland.
take one action.
They have to
Okay.
take the boys go to Brentford, don't they still?
Yeah, this was a girl here.
And the girl has to go to Ashland because they separated them.
Mhm.
Michael used to have to
Yeah,
transport them all the time
it's
when
pretty
the
bad.
county had it. Yeah.
And of course, all that'll be noted on the form that they have. Correct?
That's correct.
All right, any other questions? I'll give you a few more minutes to look through if you have any. Scott's here.
yeah, I don't like that. I mean, I wanna understand it better.
What page, Scott, does it say the hours and, no?
Yeah, it's page like 12, I think.
4?
Is it on page 4? That early? Okay.
170 days.
He's at the city,
Mhm.
he'll do the training. and-
Right top of page 4.
Yeah, but there's one that, oh, yeah, it starts on page 3, yeah.
It just tells you where they serve and their hours.
So our second officers, the ones that are splitting it, they still getting overtime?
Yes.
That's not a contract provision.
That's not part of the contract, so they'll use that money and then
That is
everything
an
over?
internal decision for the council to make.
Yeah, that'll be probably more of a discussion for next year.
But they'll get whatever, what, the 84,000, is that what the
Yeah, this is,
schools provide?
yeah, and with this, 170 days and 6 hours, we should only be out of the pocket about $1,000.
Is
How
that a
much?
year
Yeah.
for everybody?
$1,000 is what.
We were over 9 last year just in wages.
Yeah, but that was
Then you
not
do
6
the-
hours a day, that was 8 hours a day, wasn't it?
No, that was 6 for everybody else.
That's not the numbers. Not gonna lie.
And they projected in their budget to be over 9 this year, you remember? But I projected them to be over 43 total with the, if they stay on overtime with the retirement, they'll be 43,000.
You guys will need to look at that whole overtime situation.
We need to look, yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you gotta look at the retirement.
Yeah, it's not just the pay, the salary.
Yeah,
it's all
If you
that.
maybe that's
remember,
what I
in
was
their-
looking at.
in their original budget, they said they would be 9,000 over.
Well, there was one at 84, one at 70, or 91, and one at 99. That was the numbers that Billy came up with.
They're,
So,
they're currently over total $8,289 just in retirement. And that's 3 months in.
yeah,
That's, you're paying more when you're paying time and a half.
but they've been doing 7 hours.
But
I mean, that's what.
all they've told me is they did 7 last year and Billy done 8. Or not Billy,
Philip.
Phil.
Yeah, right now they're doing 7. I just talked to Grant. And then, of course, Philip does 8.
Well, this
But
is
we're going
based
down
off
to-
what we've done this year, they're already over. What
Yeah.
they're already over, $8,200.
So hiring this officer's gonna,
Well, hiring this officer, you're on,
Same thing.
Well, we don't know that totally.
Yeah, if we.
Well, I
if
mean,
we
if
hire
it's
him-
somebody,
You
if
got-
it's somebody that's a part-timer.
you got
or
fill it for 35, so that gives you 51 to get a offshore
Full-time.
I
benefit
thought
that
I
we
seen
can.
this was 40,000, is that right?
If it's with benefits,
Oh, with
an
benefits.
officer. See, Philip is retired, so he doesn't get
Right.
benefits.
He doesn't.
Our younger officers make right at 40 grand with their overtime and with their retirement. So we can get, if we get 2 full-time, we will be under budget
Yes,
for the SRO.
Mm.
I can guarantee you that.
yeah. What we talked about last time is why the guys get overtime when they are volunteering to work for the school system? Is it because it's paid out of us? I mean, if it's a volunteer thing, they should just be getting straight time from the school system instead of overtime from
Straight
the
time
city.
from us.
Or straight time from us, yeah, but if, you know,
To be clear, how much they get paid is your all's discretion. It's not part of the contract. Whether they get paid just regular time or whether they get paid overtime, that's something that you guys have to decide as their overseer. The only thing, then the contract would not address how much they get paid or anything like that. It just basically says, we're gonna provide this amount
So
of
it is
coverage.
legal to pay them because they volunteered.
You say volunteer, they don't really volunteer.
They're
Yeah,
not
they
scheduled,
volunteer on
they
their-
volunteer. to
on their
work this
own
furlough.
On their own time.
but we pay them time and a half.
We don't schedule them according to grant, they volunteer for that.
Yes.
I would think that that would be a scheduled event.
When they volunteer to work it.
If they volunteer to work it,
They don't have to work it, some of them.
Some of them,
once again, all that is probably something internally that you guys need to discuss with the
Well,
police department.
you know, you're paying Philip 18 an hour and you're sending people over and paying them 20 something an hour. You
To
gotta
say,
look at
to
that.
say that they volunteer has a connotation that they're,
Doing it for free.
yes, and that's not the situation.
No, they're volunteering to work
optional.
that shift.
It's optional.
You know,
They don't-
it may be something where certain officers say, I would like to work this week, or I can't work this week.
Right.
Because volunteer sounds like, I'll do it for free, I'll just show up out of the goodness of my heart, that's not what's happening.
What, no, they're here, let's call it covering. They're covering the extra officer at time and a half
Okay.
after their regular shift here for the city.
And that's my understanding of what's been occurring.
but there are companies where you can volunteer for a weekend shift. I mean, I know that for a fact. So, I mean,
Well, that's when-
it might be a semantic thing, but I mean, it's, it gets right down to basically the same thing.
You know, and like I said, that's an internal.
Not gonna
That-
support
that
that.
is a-
Well,
And
that-
they are,
that is a city
and they are
effort.
working overtime, but the thing is, if we can hire a full-time person, we would need them to volunteer and cover shifts. And it would save us tons
And
of
Grant
money.
told us none of them would work for
Straight time.
regular time, that none of them would work.
Mhm.
So that's why we said post. for-
We've got to post the job.
I would say that's why I have these two.
Yeah, they go in the
applicant
paper.
ads for,
Yeah, I
well,
mean,
they're
they'll go
not
in for Tuesday.
I would say that plays directly into Brian's narrative.
One of them done was okay last.
I just wanna make it clear that the contract.
Yeah,
The contract
I didn't
cannot
realize
say,
that.
we're only gonna play regular time, the contract wouldn't say we're gonna play overtime, the contract would not address that, that's something y'all have to address.
Okay, anyway, for this year, do I have a motion to, send the SRO contract as it is? It'll then go to the, school board, for basically 170 days at 6 hours, and also obviously monitoring the fuel. Do I have a motion on that?
Mayor, can I, before we do that, can I
Okay.
throw one thing? And just for clarity, if we, you know, assuming we do advertise, and assuming we do get a good candidate, and assuming we do hire a full-time officer, to where we don't need the second officer to fill in, kinda like what they do, or volunteer, or whatever term we use, that would be fine. Nothing that we're doing in this contract would in any way negate that, or limit our ability to do
Right.
so. Just wanna make that clear.
Okay.
And I also want to make clear is if we had two full-time officers and one of them had to take off and we needed somebody to work that, time and a half would be fine. You know, instead of them just, I feel like that they just work it because they get that extra time and a half and they built that into their check and they're used to it and that's what they want and that's what they expect. But if we have two full-time officers, somebody has to take a day off, then totally by all means, if we've had guys that worked all week and say, I'll cover that shift. That's where I don't mind paying the time and a half.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not when it's just a regular thing that they're just,
It's kinda almost
Every
like a
week.
security.
yeah,
job
it's
when
time and a
you
half
work.
all week long for us to cover, you know, so.
All right, do I have a motion to send the SRO contract as it is to the school board?
I think we can make a motion and send it, but it's not gonna be, and they're gonna want the two full-time in there.
We can send it to them, and they can send it back.
They'll want wording to,
They may, I will say this, of course, you were familiar with this, Tommy, we had a meeting And I think when we left that meeting, the understanding was that that would be acceptable to the school system. It may have changed since then, but my understanding was that they were okay with it.
They were okay with 2.7 and a half. Right, say, whatever Philip works, she was okay with.
So they're okay with 6 hours? I
Yeah,
knew they-
that's
she was
my
okay with
understanding from this
7.
area, when 170 days,
Because Philip don't work.
6 hours.
Oh, 8.
Now, that's what I had written down in my.
Yeah, that's what I had.
I mean, I don't care.
We'll just send it to them and see what they
And
say.
if it doesn't apply, we'll be back here next month. So, and that's fine too.
All right, do I have a motion on that?
Well, I'll just make sure. Making sure.
Well, we have to send them something at some point in time, or we're still under the old contract. So,
And we're still paying the.
It doesn't matter, you're still gonna be doing that.
Either way.
Either
It doesn't
way.
matter. Either way, it's
Yeah.
contract, that doesn't matter about that.
No, the one that will change will be the next year's, and that's what I'm saying, if you want to make that change. All right, I have a motion? Second? Motion? Any motion? I'm gonna be here all night.
I don't care to make, I mean, like I said, I know it's not gonna fly, but I'll make the motion.
Should we make a motion or should we table it and talk about it some more?
I don't know, I mean,
It's not
they're
gonna
gonna
be-
wanna do something next week.
Yeah,
but
they
I
meet
don't
next
think they're
week.
gonna-
If we don't send anything to them, they're gonna say they're waiting on us.
Yep.
If we send it to them, she can tell you right away, I'm sure.
Well, I was surprised she didn't call me, because I gave it to her after looking at it.
Yeah.
I was surprised, because I told them, if there's any questions. You got a motion? All right, second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
I'm abstaining. I don't understand it. I was, you know.
3 or 4, did you? 3,
I think I'm gonna abstain, cause I don't really get the whole gist of it either. I really just don't.
They're not gonna pay, the bottom line is
I don't
she's
think
gonna
they'll
want
accept it.
changes, we know that, but she's got it, so.
She has to
she'll
at
never
least
change it back.
look at the contract
Y'all
and
can
send it back.
I mean, I
Yeah.
yeah.
okay, 3, 2. Are you,
I'm gonna abstain.
okay?
You'll pass.
Yeah, motion carries, okay.
Abstains a year.
I'm not gonna. Either way.
The abstain goes with the majority.
Oh,
You
that's
get
fine
that.
with me. That's fine.
It's a
But I don't
3 hour
understand it enough
abstention.
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just, yeah.
That's not a
That's
no,
fine
it's
if it
just you don't-
goes.
you don't
Yeah,
vote.
what I would say again is
I
just
think
spend
so,
some
no,
time
it's
looking
just
at
same
it,
as if you
and
did your
we're
vote.
probably gonna get it back.
Yeah, that's fine.
You don't
I
vote
just
for
don't
it.
understand it enough
I
myself.
don't think
to
our
go.
problem is
Uh-huh.
sending it or not sending it, our problem is we need to stop the.
I don't really want
Get the two.
hold it
Well,
up,
I
but
mean-
I don't understand it either.
Well, and that's the thing about it with the full-time.
You can abstain, that'd be the easiest way to go about it.
Okay, we're done? All right. Next is the loan payoffs. We took care of a 2019 Durango, 2019 Durango 2, and the 2020 Durango. And this is, of course, with the sale of the law enforcement vehicles. So that will save them $1,464.74 every month.
Well,
Yeah, about that.
Good.
It's a good thing, and they've got a few more, but right now that's where we're at with regard to that. I guess was that just for FYI, for information? We don't have to, we already voted on it, okay. All right, the I&I, that's the sewer project over there on Airport, called the inflow and infiltration. One of the things that we're going to need, again, this goes back before my time, so Tommy, you might be able to help me with this. There was a little bit of a problem with some of the steps, and one of the steps got missed, and as a result, we are having to come up with X number of dollars in order for this project to move forward. And basically,
It didn't get put in
didn't get put in the paper, correct.
on the correct time.
Yeah, so that was the only issue, otherwise we would have got the full amount and everything been taken care of.
But yeah, we didn't know that until about a year and a
Yeah,
half
it,
later.
was brought to our attention by Bluegrass Ad, and they sat down and talked to me about that, and, you know, apologized and all that kind of stuff, but that's always after the fact. Anyway, our construction costs are gonna be in the area of 113,000, and our, somebody on site, the observer, is gonna be around 50,000. So what I would like the council to approve is kind of a, I think there's a couple ways we'll be able to pay for it. Is some is ARPA funds. Not sure exactly what we're gonna have left after the lights and those kind of things. And the other would be a loan from Whitaker Bank. More of a draw, you know, we're just kinda asking for,
Construction loan.
yeah, a certain amount of money. It'll be there when we need it. The first thing, the construction, we're gonna have to pay the first part of the draw. So, we might as well have it ready. It should go out to bid here pretty soon. Probably won't get started maybe till next year. So we'll have it, we'll have that covered. So, any questions on that?
We pay Nesbit usually monthly, so that'll probably be a monthly draw.
Yeah, they'll be on, you know, they'll be on site, making sure everything's done right according to the engineer and all that kind of stuff. All right, any questions or anything on that?
Okay, I have a question about why it was not put, who didn't put it in the paper?
I don't know, Tommy. You have
Yeah,
to-
that was before COVID even, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
It fell between us and Bluegrass Ag, didn't it? So we just didn't
Is
get it.
Bluegrass Ad helping us with any of the costs?
And they helped us tremendously. $1.5 million.
Yeah, but because it was missed,
No,
then it's
they're
on
not, they're
us?
not, they're
It's
not
on
helping.
us, cause it was our baby, yeah.
Okay.
They didn't get in.
They're not helping. I sit down with
We put
Grayson.
it,
I sit down with,
Exactly.
I sit down with Grayson and Bob, and basically it's on us.
Jacob, can you put it in the paper and backdate it?
Oh,
No, that doesn't quite work.
Got it.
So if I could have a motion, I think the draw, if we could set aside 200,000, that should be, cover all of the costs that come our way.
Is this a motion to borrow 200,000?
Well, to negotiate it with Whitaker Bank. And I've already talked to David Johnson up there, and he's kind of looking for us for the best deal, percentage-wise and those kinds of things.
Probably motion to authorize the mayor on behalf of the
Yes,
city of Stanton
that's what it
to borrow up to 200,000 in connection with the project.
That's right.
And I don't think we'll use that, because I think we're going to be able to use some of the ARPA funds, but we'll at least have it later.
That way you got the authorization.
Yes.
Is it sort of like, what is that, a line of credit, you know, is it sort of like we'll
Yeah.
borrow? Like a
Construction loan
Like a
kind of.
construction
Yeah.
loan, like a line of credit to
Right.
have just in case we need it?
Just in case, correct.
And then you pretty much like paying interest until you're done.
Yep.
And then plus-
Then-
Alright.
Or you can pay it, whatever you want to pay.
Yeah. All right, motion on that? Okay, and a second? All right. All in favor? Okay, motion carried. Okay, lucky 13, animal ordinance. Amazing, it turned on 13, Chris.
Time we visited this.
Why are you looking at me?
I think you got what Chris had given us last time. And just, you know, my own personal opinion again is we just kind of leave it the same as we've had it, but I'll open that up to the council.
That's my
this month.
opinion too.
Okay,
You know,
we got that.
we just-
We've got
Yeah.
lots of different things that's been, can be put in there, but I think basically we wanna, I would suggest.
We
leave
know
it to-
How do
currently,
you wanna do it? You wanna go around the
Currently, we
table or
have
what?
Currently, we do have chickens.
we have
No.
chickens in the city.
We have them, it's
But we're
not
not
But
allowed.
supposed
they're
to.
It's not,
allowed.
right, it's not allowed currently, but yes, there are chickens out there.
Is that one-legged chicken still live up at Dairy Queen? Anybody seen him?
No, I haven't seen that
It's
chicken
been
all the
road all the
time.
time.
I've seen it on the
No,
road.
somebody
Yeah.
got that chicken.
It's great in the basket.
How do you wanna do it? Do you wanna go around the table? and
Either
say
way.
that? How you wanna?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we can
all right,
start.
I'll
What,
start.
All right, we'll
what's
start.
changing though?
No.
Well, so what I did to all last month, when
Yeah.
I
What
put
was
in
changing
red,
was the red, all the red. Did you get
that was basically to allow chickens up to, I think it was 6, right, Tom?
Yes.
No rooster,
No rooster.
and they still can't have eggs. They just don't realize it.
And then there was something in there about
Goats and sheep.
goats and sheep, and
Yeah,
then
remember
there
the
was
guy
one
came.
other thing. There was something that we say no swine, but
potbelly pig.
But a lot of people have a potbelly pig in their house as a pet.
Right.
And I
remember
mean,
that from the
But
last
it got
time.
60, mine got big.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
And
get
they
big.
do.
They get
Well, we
big.
had a potbelly pig. in the
Okay,
house.
Rhonda,
But the truth
Okay.
about that is, we don't have to, I mean, that's the kind of thing, that not 99% of the time, you're never even gonna know somebody's got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a cat,
Like a
you wouldn't
dog.
know if
Okay.
they kept it in
All
the
right.
house.
we'll let Rhonda go first.
Okay.
I'll probably be unpopular, but I live in the city and I've lived in the city most of my life. And we've had a lot of people that, since we made the ordinance that you could not have chickens and, you know, of the
Pigs,
nature
so, yeah.
in the city limits, that have gotten rid of their chickens and such. Being a neighbor of mine, being one of them. I do not think it would be fair to change that midstream and then him be able to go back and get his chickens and such. I am not 100% not in favor of being allowed to have chickens, swine, all goats, any of that in city limits. I feel like that's an amenity that you have being in the country.
Yeah.
If you wanna live in the country and you wanna have such things as, and I'm, you know, I'm not a person that's down on, you know, having goats and cows and ticket pigs and all this. You know, if that's what you want, go to the country. Go to the country. Don't bring them to the city. That's just not, we've never had it before, and it's just not, the city is just not made for such things. And I feel like that's where we need to keep it at. Don't be changing it from, and if you allow one chicken,
Yeah.
you know, it's not gonna be a month till you're gonna have, you know, Joe Blow over here's got, I see right here, he's got 2 chickens, well, let's call. You know, and we're gonna be worried to death with people calling and saying, you know, well, they've got 3, well, Sally's got 4. And you're gonna have, well, they got a goat, and you know, there's nothing, you know, no, that much difference between a goat and a lamb. Can I have a lamb?
Right.
You know, and it's gonna go
Yeah.
changing from one thing to another. It's gonna be one big raging fight, and I don't feel like that Stanton needs to have that fight. So, that's my opinion.
I say we leave it like it is, we changed it, you know, no chickens, no livestock, anything in the city limits. Just, you know, houses are close together now, and it's fine if somebody would have a nice, you know, $4,000 coop that they sell up on the corner that's real cute, and they stayed right there and they cleaned it, but that's not the way it's gonna be.
No, they're gonna be laundry baskets all over the yard.
Yeah, and it's gonna stink.
Tara?
Well, now in mine it says goats and sheep are crossed out up here, then it says down at the bottom, D, goats and sheep are permitted in A1, R1, and R2 zone districts, and not permitted in any other zone districts. So, what is R1 and R2?
Your
Residential.
house.
My house.
Most of the city is
Yes.
low density residential R1.
It's saying that no businesses can have goats.
And you can't have them in an apartment complex.
Yes, or rental.
Okay, so, like, and it says in this is the new one.
It should be the
I
same
mean,
as the
this
last.
is-
one. Yeah.
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 What I
that's
gave you
what
all
they
is
brought to us
a
as proposed,
draft
This
of
is
a
a
potential.
proposal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I am all about animals and people having what animals they want. I like exotic animals, I like different animals and things like that. But what about if we did a permit? Like the guy that moved in didn't know he was in the city limits, he came to us, and was this a nuisance complaint? Was this just somebody, because next door to him is a horse farm.
Right.
Literally
The-
across the street is a horse farm.
Right, it was, the one in question on Oak Hill, it was a
Mhm.
nuisance, and it was about the smell
Okay.
of the goat.
Now, I am all about, I do not want things to be stinky and smelly. If he had something, you know, that was under control.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But the last time you said, we don't know what, if it was a complaint or somebody just said it, because there was nothing in writing. There was just somebody that called.
Right, it
And
was
said they
a-
got a goat.
Right, it wasn't, yeah, we didn't have anything in writing, I
But we
didn't
didn't
know
know
who
if
it
it was
was.
because of a stink. We
Right.
didn't know if it was
No,
because of
they
being
did say it was because
noisy.
of the smell,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay, so I mean,
But-
I don't want people bringing stuff in that stinks and smells either, but I also don't wanna kick somebody's pet that they've had for 8 years out of their house when they moved to the place that they didn't know they couldn't have it. either.
Well, I mean.
And if there was a special permit and it wasn't stinky and nasty, you know,
Yeah, but then you get into.
Part of that, I think, is education on our part, and
Right.
and I'm trying to work on that. I've updated the city's web page with a lot of different stuff, and that's something we can put out there kind of prominently too, about,
yeah.
you know, if we decide we're not gonna change it, then I'll make a Facebook post, I'll put it on the website, maybe we'll figure out other ways to get the word out, but basically say, here's our animal control ordinance, if you want animals in the city, you need to read this and see what's allowed and what's not. But that's more of an educational aspect to it. I think I don't know of anybody that's ever done anything like a permit for animals.
Yeah.
And I can see a lot of problems with that too, because I mean, we have people doing things all the time without permits, so.
Now, if I get a wildlife permit to raise wildlife and release them back into the wild, you can get permits for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To rehabilitate animals. Like, there are permits
But I would guess most people don't do that in the city.
in the city. Well, most people
You
would.
can get a permit to have wolves, but not really.
Now, stop it now. My possum has never bothered you. It's gone. I released it.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, I don't
Oh,
have
okay.
I didn't you had.
I did, but it's gone. It's removed. So that's me.
Yeah.
Is the guy come, tried to do the right thing. I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to help the animals. I want people to be happy. I do not want stinking in the city. I agree with the chickens and the things like that. As long as somebody can keep them under control, and I mean, the dude tried to do the right thing. So I would want him to be able to keep his family pet, but educate everybody else that this is not,
Right.
you know. But if it's a nuisance, I agree.
The only thing I'll add to that is, what I said last month is, in the nuisance ordinance, it does say you can't have anything that produces odors that affect your neighbors,
Right,
things like
right,
that.
right.
And drainage issues and things like that on your neighbors, so if you had a goat lot and it was running off
Right,
into the
no.
neighbor's yard,
You know.
the nuisance ordinance could address that.
Right.
But then we get into the whole enforcing the nuisance ordinance and
Right.
how do you fix that? You make them
Right.
get rid of it, or
Right.
you make them clean it up,
Mhm.
and then
Build
loads the same problem.
24 by 24 shed.
Yeah, right,
What
right.
are we gonna do?
So-
Right, so I'm, you know, I just wanna be fair to it.
Okay, Janelle?
Well, I'm gonna agree with what we've always done, so that's my.
Okay, Tommy?
I'm not gonna be mad.
Tom?
Yeah, I'm for what we have, but the one person in the city that wants chickens, my wife.
It's all right, Tommy, you can abstain.
Tommy said.
Well,
No.
just take them on the edge of the, into the county there, and you can come back.
Hillary, you're the one, I mean, you know,
Say
I,
I wear the pants.
Can you hear this for a few minutes while he talks?
Okay.
I know my vote.
We could have a motion then to basically leave the animal ordinance 2201 the same.
So what I would even suggest is if there's not a motion to change it, it is by.
Oh, okay.
It's still, yeah, you know.
Oh, perfect.
Gary, then I have to vote against that. I wanted my one yes with your all no's. I wanted it to be noted. But I went against
We'll
everything.
go with the popular phrase, it is what it is.
It is.
But like I said, I will try to do some outreach.
Yes.
Like, through social media
Education,
on the
yes.
webpage and get the word
Just
out.
don't
that,
come
hey,
looking
this
at
is
my
something.
house, no time. No, just kidding. I don't have anything.
The only thing I'm afraid about with that is all of a sudden we'll get neighbors calling on neighbors.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
exactly.
let's do this tidal wave of.
It
Don't bring
Yeah.
them up, don't bring them up
Yeah.
to Brooks. Please. Okay, number 14, we already, I guess I wasn't fully aware of the SRO, I guess. We had already voted on that one, is that correct?
Yeah, what we did on that is, I understand, at the special meeting,
Yes.
there was an agreement or decision made that we would advertise for a second full-time SRO. There was a little bit of a question as far as if you're doing a special meeting and it's budget, whether you can actually do a motion to hire somebody, so I thought the best thing to do.
See, that's what
Would
I'm
be just in
trying
a,
to
in a
explain.
regular,
Tommy.
as you guys know, in a special meeting, you're limited to certain things, and the only thing that was on the budget that would, the only thing that was on the agenda that would fall under was budget, which the hiring of a new individual would not,
Yeah.
probably would not fit under budget, so what I have done is I fixed up two identical,
Okay.
two identical ads for SRO, one with the deadline of Monday, November 6th, and one with Monday, October 30th. Whichever you will prefer, I will hand this to the clerk.
Just 2 weeks, if you do it on the,
That one, the 30th?
the Patriot comes out on
But we
Tuesday.
can't use it.
Well, that would give us more time to get one out.
You
Yes,
can,
you can.
We can use the Patriot for ads, right?
yeah, we can't use it.
Not legal or not legal.
Okay.
So whatever day.
All right.
Well,
Well, let's,
one question is which date y'all feel is the deadline?
As soon as possible, Tommy said, but.
Okay, it's October 17th, we just want to go in, and then
October 30th.
October 30th will be one. Okay, I have a motion on the first one, which is the police officer full-time, all right? And a second on that, all right, all in favor? Motion carried.
You know, to vote.
Sorry.
And then a motion to, for the full-time SRO. And a motion on that, all right, and a second? All right, all in favor? All right. And then number 15 is for, a kind of a repost, but, the water distribution operator still do not have one of those. Remember, Rub right now is our kind of an independent contractor. And so we really need to try to find, a water distribution operator, so we need to advertise that also, Scott, so if I could have a motion on that for full-time, all right, and a second?
Were you gonna say something?
Is that re-advertisement,
Yeah, we got it.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to put everything in the 17th and come back the 30th. Did we?
We got
See
it.
first,
Huh?
who's second?
Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion carried. Okay, Tommy, any park updates?
We're still, the RFQs for the lights and the dog park, 27 is the deadline.
Right.
So we postponed our park meeting this month until then. And the cameras, there's 3 RFQs we got, so we postponed it till the day after, so we can okay those.
The drainage is done, the
Drainage
fencing is
The fence has
done.
been moved, they'll have new lights, so I'm guessing, trying to think of what would be the problem this spring, but they're big ones.
Well done.
But we do have, when we talked about raises, we give everybody the dollar, we said we would do Daniel after his year. But I don't think we noted that in the minutes, so I think that's something we'll probably have to okay
In November?
Yeah, we'll okay it for the dollar, cause his year was up, but we didn't put it in the minutes saying
No,
that.
we didn't.
I
Okay.
think it needs to, I make that motion,
Which,
give him that dollar.
okay, this is Daniel, park manager, okay.
We give everybody else, but we said we would wait till after a year to give
Oh, okay.
Daniel.
Yeah, okay. Have a second on that? Okay, all in favor? Okay, motion carried.
Real quick, what about, what's going on, I wasn't on the council about when city bought the property. I'm hearing a lot of stuff, but I don't really know.
Yeah, we've just, obviously, the property is there. The next step, I think, in stage for us is, if it's gonna be an indoor recreational facility, then what's gonna be on the inside? And informally, there's lots of ideas out there, but we've never sat down and really, talked about it. Obviously, that would be part of the city park, also the city council, input probably from the community, et cetera.
The main thing was, we had to own the property before we could start putting any grants.
Yeah.
And because that was where we were gonna want to put it. Now that we need to find grants.
Yeah, my hope is that it can be a community project, not only just coming from grants from the federal government or state or whatever, but we can also get other individuals involved. And so
We could look at
it's gonna be a beautiful,
probably some people that may do the whole thing.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we've got
Sure.
some real possibilities because of what it's gonna bring to the community.
Oh, yeah.
And also to visitors that come into town. So it's not just for our folks, it's gonna be a great attraction, and once you turn in there and you see that, it just changes everything.
Getting the building down help.
Yeah, oh yeah, everybody makes comments about that. All right, any other questions on, or any comments from the council?
I have some
Anybody else?
comments about our delinquents.
Okay, well, okay, you want to, okay, go ahead.
We were given it
at the meeting last month, I believe, with
For which, the water?
and business
Yes.
license.
We have taken in quite a bit,
Okay.
just since this time, but other times too. Go ahead.
We've got $2,900
Mhm.
past dues. Do they have water? Why?
Well, we've been taking, what, about 10?
I mean-
Now, this is carried over from 2022.
I understand.
Yeah.
29.
And we're just
26.
starting to note these, so,
I can't believe it.
did we turn that one off?
We turned off like 10 this week.
There's one that's owes $2,900.
Well, if you go back, we had some owing almost $5,000.
We've got one 2019,
Yeah.
one for 2670, 1916. I mean, can we,
Private homes or businesses?
private home?
Yeah, we have turned a lot of those off, Tommy, and some have come in and paid. We had one guy, believe it or not, came in with $801 bills. I loved it. I don't care what they bring
Well, I
in.
mean, can we make a plan where we send them something saying, if you don't come in and make us a payment plan?
Well-
Did you say she was paying, that was it?
What we're doing is, some of them are negotiating with us, so they're paying like 200, 300, 400, 500.
I mean,
Others are, I mean, I don't know if that's the latest. Is that the latest?
No, that must be last month.
That's last month. I don't
Or
think.
you give us last minute.
Yeah, we can bring you an update that shows quite a bit that's come in, so we can look at that. But I think that one got turned off.
What I would like to suggest is us do an amount, and we send these people that's this and above an amount saying, we can't give you water much longer if you don't make, and if they make a payment plan and they break it, then we cut the water off.
Well, I think I asked you about whether letters have been sent in the past, and they have, and there's been no real response.
That's what I'm saying. We
You
need
don't
to,
get no response till you turn them off.
we
Yeah.
need,
And we've been turning them off.
we can send that letter and say, if you don't come in by the 15th and make a payment plan with us, we're gonna turn your water off.
But we can just shut them off, can't we?
Yes.
We can shut them off,
Used to, it was.
but I would like them to know
Yeah.
that they have, they can come in,
Have the
but
opportunity within
And I
5
believe
days of
we've
this
got a
letter.
form.
And there's a lot of folks been coming in. Yeah, I mean, we should have done an update, because we've taken in quite a bit of money since that thing. It's down quite a bit, because it wasn't 92,000, it's down to 56,000 in that, or 66. And that one is even down, I think, more now.
We took like 3,000 or 4,000 this week.
Yeah.
I think we took 8,000, like, is that what?
Oh, but there's been probably more than that.
Last
I mean,
month.
Oh, okay. And it's
I
a
just
slow
think we could
process.
say, oh, 500 or more, you need to get in.
And a lot of times we turn it off, they go out there and turn it on, and we have to take the meter.
Yeah,
We've done that already
Yeah, I
before.
did.
So,
I just suggest, I don't know what the rest of the council, but I just think if it's above 500, we can send them that letter, and if they don't come in, we shut it off. I know it's not a popular,
well, I know we can shut it off, but if they turn it on, we're gonna have to go in there and check the meter.
or we,
And other times
you press
even,
charges, that's stealing.
yeah, oh, yeah, we've got, we found what, one in Wood Server, like 6 or 7 people running off that one.
That's what I'm saying, we need to,
Yeah.
this would help.
They found one where they had 300 feet of line going to somebody else's meter.
I can see a month or two, but
Somebody bring the house next to me, they stole my water all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is my water bill $300? You know, and it was because the neighbors were sneaking it when I.
But anyway, we'll continue to work on it.
No, it was my other neighbor.
Yeah, Tommy, we're working on it, so just let you know.
so can we say we'll do that?
Yeah.
And we need to vote for that or something?
We can,
I don't think it's necessary.
yeah, we'll take care of it.
You can if you want to. Realistically though, if that's something that the clerk and mayor feel like is a good idea, they go ahead and do it.
I know we did 10 or 15 turn-offs this week.
And then we did about 10 last week, and we did 10 this week,
But
so.
I think I'm with Tommy, if it said, you know, if you owe this much, then you need to pay this much, or it will be turned off immediately, you know, we will turn it off.
And the payment plan is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been working with folks.
Come in and talk to us, and we'll work with you, but.
Because I know we've made payment plans for some of these, and I've seen it's still the same amount.
Well,
I
And
don't
some of
think
those
we
don't
make-
need to be
I ain't gonna name
And
any
simply
names.
because they use the water, the next month it goes out. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, my
But
people
we're,
turn it off, they'll go out there and turn it off.
We're doing it, we brought in a lot of money, believe it or not,
Because you don't-
you know, since we
Yeah,
started
I
this in
just
January.
Or,
Or, yeah, well, a little later than that, it became to my attention. But we'll work on that. Anybody else on that?
And how about our restaurant tax? Have we been getting, since, I mean, do we know if we've got delinquents or are they
There's a
keeping
few,
track of it?
I've sent the money those.
Those not bad.
And the other delinquent is, of course, is the business license. We have got quite a few of those off there now, Tommy, so.
Yeah.
And what are we down to, you think, on the business license? Could we-
We had several in this week. Do you know, Chris?
what?
Business license, we had like 24 didn't pay, were we down to 15, 16?
I don't know.
How many
the exact-
letters did you,
I don't know the exact number, I've got the letters, I've got to stick them in envelopes, send them out. We'll take them around, and I think we've got it whittled down to the ones that are just active. Cause we had, the part of the list we had were the ones that like, maybe they were out of business or whatever. But we're down, it's getting pretty low, the number that are left, but I'll get those out.
Is that mostly just like the 1 year, not people that are in arrears from years
Right,
past?
right, I think everybody, I don't think there's anybody that owes from previous years. I think it's just what's owed
year.
after July 31st, yeah.
and usually,
I
Yeah.
know the Todd's places, they have sold out.
yeah, he hasn't been in to pay though, has he?
Who's that?
The Todd over there?
He just,
The
The
guy
guy
that
the
bought-
new apartment?
yeah.
I thought he did.
He did.
He did, he
Okay.
came in,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is the old,
That is the old one.
delinquent, old like that.
And
Yeah, there's, and I
We
think-
should have brought the update, sorry about that, we'll
Yeah.
try to get you guys that.
Try to do better next time.
Yes, please.
But I will say,
Thank you.
with the iWork, program that we're getting, the new, permit management, code enforcement, and the business license, we started talking about the business license stuff today, so hopefully in the next, I think it's by the beginning of November, we're supposed to have it all set up.
Ready to go.
We'll have the new business licenses, I sent the database to her today, like what we have currently, and they're supposed to integrate all that and get that set up, and hopefully that'll make it smoother and easier than the program that we've been having. I went to the laptop, I went to the laptop with a jump drive to get it, to email it to her, and the laptop, we didn't think we could get the laptop, and I'm like, no, not now. So, I thought I'm gonna have to mail them the whole computer.
Okay, anything else, guys? All right. The review, the next is the September year-to-date budget. I think you should have got that. Any, okay, Tom, go ahead.
I think I know what this is, Teresa, I just wanna make sure. The professional fees tax, that we're road doing that? Okay, just wanna make, so we probably need to adjust. Amend the budget.
We need to amend the budget on that.
Does it need to go into something else, you think, or?
Which one is that, Tom?
It's, page 2, down in general expense, 5082.
Okay, yes, okay.
So when you get that much over budget,
Yeah,
we could
that was-
probably put that in water because,
Well, that's one of the things the auditor brought out. If things kinda go, over, we
Can we-
need to amend that.
yeah. But I mean, you could probably go back and transfer what you paid him into,
I think I can, yeah.
because water's showing way below his budget.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it is a water, even though it's a,
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be easier.
he's a water operator, so it would fall in the
it'd be
category.
easier than amending and getting.
Okay, yeah, amending takes a little bit of time, okay? Alright, so we'll note that, make that change, okay? Anything else, Tom?
Well, we know about sewer, but we're not paying anything in water, so. I mean,
I've had
we're gonna wash out.
I've had a conversation, we now have a trained Joy, and so he's been doing it every other weekend.
Oh, wow.
What else, let me see.
So there's no want more overtime?
Oh, well.
No, it'll be overtime anytime unless we get somebody for the weekends. And also looked into independent contractors, and basically, the labor is about the same as it is for somebody, one of our employees, to get their regular pay and then work overtime. It's about $35 an hour.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't change. And then if you bring in an operator, excavator, it's $65 an hour.
So it's more than our
Yeah, it'd be more,
overtime.
Be $100 an hour.
basically, yeah.
Mhm.
But, you know, do we wanna work that poor guy today? If he's working.
No, I
He's
mean.
your 90 hours a week, eventually he's gonna.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know, Richard, he seems to love that for some
I
reason.
know.
He's done it for years.
Basically, and some of the, like, this week, he's not here, the weekend will be Joy, and then Carlos will back him up, and then the independent contractors will back them up, so we got it covered for this week. All right, anybody else on the year-to-date budget? Overall, it's really pretty good between our total income coming in and our expenses going out, so far
We'd
we've.
say the income, not 3 months in, we've been over water, sewer, and.
Yeah, we've been doing well, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
We haven't been able to say that much. So.
Well, and part of it is, again, we're out there getting money from folks that we
Well,
hadn't paid for
and
quite some time.
unfortunately, Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. All right, have a motion to accept the, year-to-date budget for
Make a
September.
motion.
All right, second. All in favor? Okay, motion carried. Oh, I think everybody likes number 18. Can I get a motion for adjournment? And a second. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
You are adjourned. Thank you guys for being here tonight.